Alright, what's going on, guys? I love you. Hope you guys know that. But what I want to talk about is something I've been seeing on my my YouTube related videos a lot, and it, usually I kind of would take a, I gotta get up the staircase, but usually I would make a video kind of different. I'd get kind of, I try to kick the facts for you, and I'm not going to try to be as negative about it, but I want to just actually use it as a learning opportunity for some people to actually, I guess, get what they want out of it. I've seen all these videos. It's like there's two things. There's e-commerce, and then there might be wind up here, so sorry for the video quality, but so the thing is, there's things like e-commerce, and the big thing I've been seeing is that these titles, and obviously it's getting your guys' attention, saying I made $1 million, or how to make $1 million with e-commerce, with this method of passive income, this and that. So I'm not gonna knock that, but what I wanna talk about is what it really takes to make $1 million in a year, and through these methods, and kind of what you need to do, because I think as long as you have the ambition to be looking into this, doing it, it's pretty good. I think you could get far, but that's why I want to make sure you guys, these people will sell you stuff, whatever it may be. I just want to make sure you guys put it on yourself, and you have the responsibility to go out and get it on your own and know what it's going to take. I guess it brings up the phrase, is it possible versus is it probable? Is it possible to make $1 million in a year picking up something that you haven't really done, self-educating, learning online? Yes. Now the probability of that is going to depend on what you're going in, what you're going to be putting into it. So I'll even talk, I guess we'll start with like e-commerce and marketing, and then we'll go to some of the other passive income stuff. But I will say with e-commerce, I know a lot about it. I've done it because when I was younger, when I was, the age of, 18, 19, 20, you guys know I was doing stocks, I was flipping, but I also got in, I had a job. I had a corporate job doing marketing and setting up for some companies e-commerce, and this was before Shopify existed. This is before all of it. It's kind of crazy to think. I'm old now, I'm 25. You guys know when I TTF, I was about 21, 22. I left that corporate world. I started literally working for myself all the time now. I started getting into more real estate investments. My stocks were doing great. Life is good. Life was good. It still is great, So I want to make sure you guys know what it takes. And I guess the first thing I'll start with e-commerce is you need to have marketing experience. Now I'm not saying, oh, you have to have this to go start that. No, but understand that the crucial element is, e-commerce is sales. You're going to need sales experience, and you are really going to need to know how to get to people to do that, and that costs money if you don't have a corporate budget. You don't have that, or you have to learn how to build up outlets to start doing it. So that's the one thing of what you need in that sense of actually physical skill, what you got to do. The reverse end is you guys need to make sure you have a goal. You need to make sure you have a goal, and you need to get on yourself every single day to actually make that much money. That's where I guess what irks me about these videos that I see, and these headlines and titles and all that, is like they think, like $1 million it doesn't come easy. You need to work hard. Grow, yeah, that's obvious. But you need to be disciplined. That's where most people, when it comes to being self-employed and having their own job, even when it comes down to real estate as well too, even trading, they lack the discipline. You need to be disciplined and be working all the time, or at least set yourself up on something that could at least compare to a 9-to-5 schedule in terms of how many hours you're putting into it. Now, does it mean it's always going to be that way? Of course not. You want to work for yourself so that you could grow it. But there is a very interesting thing. If you work for an employer, you're trading money for time. If you work for yourself, but you have to be the person who's doing all the work, setting it up, and that's usually what happens in your first year or two, you are, it's you times your time as well too. How much you're earning is you're literally doing the same exact thing. You need to be able to have something to scale. That's where marketing, products, and having that plan, being able to delegate it to other people, where you could hire people for cheaper to go and do that, where you could start to outsource, and it's still, now you can multiply your product, your service, your skill times X amount of people you have. Boom, that's how you start getting there. But going back, you need to start setting goals. You need to be working, and that's what I mean, you know, what I said, I guess coming back to the whole put your time in as if it's a 9 to 5. You are going to need to work at, you know, think about, you know, someone who works a full-time job, they're putting in what, 70 hours a week, 90 hours a week. You know, you're gonna need to start doing that. It will get to the point where, yeah, you can go enjoy your weekends, you can enjoy your weekdays. You know, like right now, I don't even, you know, what day is it? It's Thursday at 12:30, and you know, I could just sit right here and kick it. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a video for you guys. I actually have a close of escrow that I'm dealing with right now. We're gonna go pick up a new condo, and I have a bunch of other stuff. I also need to go do a presentation for a real estate firm that wants to, you know, invest in one of our portfolios we have. So that's the beauty of working for yourself. You know, you have to get to that point, you have to scale to that point. So make sure you guys are on the same page with that and understand, again, it's possible, but the probability is going to decrease with the little amount of work you have. And I want to make sure you guys have goals. And then also now, it goes back to what I've always said, you know, richest man in Babylon, strangest secret in the world. You need to develop skills. You know, I am not successful because I have a lot of money. I am successful because I mastered things. I mastered, quite frankly, business. I know that the same, you guys watch my videos, the same things I apply to business, I apply, you know, I would run a business with a company, that's what I apply to the stock market. The same things I apply in the stock market, I apply to real estate, and it's full circle. And that's something that's why I like the stock market, you know. If you guys learn how companies operate and see that and could get in that framework of what makes a good company versus a bad company, you could transition that into your e-commerce business, your any business you own, and saying, well, hey, if this is what makes some of the biggest companies in the world, this is how they operate, maybe you could adopt some of those techniques and understand, yeah, this is good business, this is bad business, this is gonna get longevity, this isn't. And that's the thing, you guys had to understand what comes with time and what you want to set up. So don't rush it. You know, that's the thing. But now, I'm not saying lower your appetite. Don't go for $1 million, you know, but understand what it's going to take. You know, you got to know your opponent. In boxing, you're not going to underestimate your opponent. Come to the ring, you're going to get knocked out. You have to have a real idea and understand what it's going to take. That's what it says even in Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret. You know what is the cost, essentially. You know, don't think about the cost of marketing. Don't think about the cost of what you have to do, set up, course, whatever the fuck you're going to be buying. It comes down to what is the cost in terms of time. What are you going to sacrifice? How are you going to do it? And that's the big thing. So if you guys want to get to that point, understand that. And now develop, let's go back to now the skills you're going to need. It's going to be, you're going to need to know how to use a computer very, very well. You're going to need to be able to communicating with people and being, you know, both people for sales as well as knowing how to formulate everything from an advertisement down to making the ad itself. And that goes to the next thing, you know, you need to learn advertisement. Like I said, that is the crux of e-commerce. You need to know what outlets you're going to be able to use to be able to make money. And one thing I will say to you guys, Facebook advertisements. It's, you know, and why do I tell that? You know, it's a publicly traded company. I used that early on when I was working for companies making their marketing plans and doing their campaigns. And then at the same time, we even use it now for real estate. That's the thing. And I guess I'll make another video on this talking, like, you know what your product is. And that's one thing. You're going to need to know where you're sourcing your stuff. What is your product? How are you getting your margins? How do you calculate your margins? Are you going to be able to literally, do you have the plug? Do you have a source where you could get it from cheap? And that is very, very important, you know, and know what you're selling. And that's it. You could figure it out with Facebook. That's the beauty of Facebook ads. You're able to target people. You could find a demographic, find a niche, find a good product to sell. You could really realize, hey, it cost me $20 to get one conversion on my ad, and I'm selling a $100 product. You know, you just made 5 times your money. That's great. That's a dope option contract. So think about it in terms of that, but understand and start familiarizing yourself with Facebook ads. There's a lot of tutorials online. There's a lot of stuff, but one of the best things, you know, play with it and don't go too crazy with your budget. And that's the one thing, biggest advice I could give for you guys is don't spend all your money early on until you start getting things rolling. I know you need money to make money. I never really believed in that too much, you know. I think what you could create in terms of sweat equity and sweat and hard work it could outweigh that. But until you know and have a plan of how you're going to be operating, what you're going to be doing, you don't want to just dive into it and start throwing your money, because then you're going to waste all your money. It's the same, again, take note, that's the same concept I give to options. That's the same thing with people, real estate, when they're going to go flip a house and do all that. So that is one of the big things. And like I said too, understand your margins. And I guess I'll put that in another video. I'll go record that after this. I'll kind of keep it short and sweet. I don't want to keep ranting, but we'll start there. You know, I'll start there. If you guys have any questions on my experience with it, if you're doing e-commerce, let me know. You guys see what I do with stocks, options. I'll gladly answer your guys' questions. And keep me posted and let me know what's working for you, what's not, and what advice you need. But I'm going to talk about in the next one kind of maximizing your return and knowing what you're doing it for. For me, it's real estate. I essentially, you know, my e-commerce is different. I do e-commerce for real estate. I do advertisements, marketing, and I've set up a whole, you know, I've scaled it beyond me. Where, why do you think I have real estate agents who work for me? I have wholesalers, flippers, and I want people to get into that so that we could scale it and grow our real estate business across the globe. You know, yeah, I have the money to be able to purchase, and I don't even need the money to purchase all of them, because I don't always purchase them. I just have the outlets to sell the real estate deals, sell the contracts. But that's what I'm doing it for. You know, I'm not selling, you know, dog tags, little dog shirts, or, you know, what other items, or affiliate marketing, shit like that. But I am selling real estate. You know, again, if you want to make millions of dollars, go for where the real money is. And now, but that doesn't mean, you know, for you to just, that's why I kind of like people doing e-commerce, because yeah, you could jump right into real estate, sure, and I know a lot of people do that and they've been successful, but at the same time, you know, get some experience and practice. That's why I'm totally willing to help you guys out with this. I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions, and let me know if this helped, and stay in school, comment below, subscribe. I love y'all.